Hey folks, so this is just me explaining the active reading exercise. Clearly, you can certainly read the handout, but the gist of this is that instead of us just me saying, hey, you have to read this part of whatever it is that we're reading, some piece of a textbook by yourself, and taking notes on that, what we're going to end up doing is collaboratively reading that, which I think is going to end up being really useful. The gist of the assignment, which is going to be something that we do throughout the semester, is that I'll say, hey, practice this active reading exercise that requires you to just one time. Now you can do more because chances are you might actually end up wanting to flag more things, but one time at least you will find a piece where you're like, oh, like this is really helpful information, and you'll highlight it because we're going to be reading in Google Drive, Google Docs, our assignments. You'll highlight that thing and then you'll comment, and you'll include a comment that says, hey, this is why I think this particular passage is really helpful, right? And then twice, so that's the one part, and then twice you are going to respond to your peers' comments. Generally, what happens is you'll read the document, and then, especially if you're one of the first people to read it, you're going to read the document, then close out of it for a minute, and then come back to the document. And the reason is that once you come back to the document again, it's going to end up loading all of your peers' comments down the right-hand side of the document. And so you can see them, and then twice you will respond to your peers. And so I give you prompts about how to do this. But I think that this is actually something that ends up being really helpful just because I think sometimes we might not clock something that we're like, oh, hey, this is super important. I would say because there are 13 of us, it's not a bad idea to not double dip, because the other thing that we're doing is we're sort of crowdsourcing note-taking, which is a really good practice to learn how to do anyway, right? So that's the 1+2 active reading exercise. And these are the details to do it so that you're not just kind of phoning it in. I'm like, hey, when you do flag something, here are ways to explain how it's important or significant. Or when you are responding to your peers, here's some ways to kind of do that, right? And reply. So there's that. And we're going to be doing this 10 times during the semester. Each active reading exercise, which is again just me giving you points for doing what you would already be doing anyway, is worth, so each time is worth 2 points, up to 20 points. So just sort of make sure that you do that. And because it's something that's meant to be interactive, you do need to have it done sort of on time. So obviously if you fall ill, let me know. I mean, there are obviously workarounds. I'm not trying to be a turd or anything. So, but that's just sort of that's the gist, okay, of this exercise. And I think it's going to end up being really helpful for all of us.